Shabbat Shalom. This class is going to deal with adultery. First, let's give all praise and honor to Yahweh Ba'Shem Mashiach Yahweh Shai for another day to get it right. And moving forward through the spirit, building ourselves up to the day to meet our Savior. You know what I'm saying? So let's continue to keep going in the right direction. Like I said, this class is called adultery. Very important we understand what adultery is, why it's important to stay away from it, you know what I mean? And that the Most High ain't with it, you know what I mean? And anything our Heavenly Father is not with, we shouldn't be with. All right. But let's start with Proverbs 6:32. All right. One thing that's important is the building process, right? Building ourselves up, building our family up. Where, the Most High talked about Adam and Eve, or not talked about, rather, in the beginning with Adam and Eve and building up their family, you know what I mean? And family's important, okay? So, if it's important to God, it's important to us. And you can see why, I mean, he's talking about replenish the earth, we want to build up powerful men, build up our daughters, to be virtuous and submissive wives to their husbands, and follow the law, statutes, commandments in the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? If you don't, woman doesn't have a husband, you know what I mean? And learning as much as possible to be able to teach it to our children. Okay. Let's bring that out, Slakia. Proverbs chapter 6:32.
Con, this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 6, beginning at verse 32. When all got to say, Con.
Con.
Verse 32. But whoso committeth adultery with a woman lacketh understanding. He that doeth it destroyeth his own soul.
And, maybe you don't want to destroy your own soul. That may be something that's important. So, committing adultery is a soul killer. It'll destroy your soul. And it lacks of understanding, right? So, we gotta search the scriptures. Why does it say that? Why does it say it'll destroy your soul? And you if you do that, you lack understanding. Well, let's go to the law, right? Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 22 and verse 22. Now it seems that it's the thing to do, more so than ever. At times where things were frowned upon, it's readily accepted in the society, right? Your female artist, they push the being promiscuous and kind of all over the place as a good thing. To the point, was a video yesterday, right? No, not yesterday, but video that recent video rather, where it's like maybe like a kindergarten graduation, and the girl, the little girl, she's kindergarten, walks up to the stage. I guess she got her diploma or award or something. She gets to the mic and says, "I want to be pregnant," and obviously in the future, you know what I'm saying? That's something that, I want to be a wife, I want to have children one day, but she's a child herself. She's like 5 years old. and the current uh societal norms that are, we see here in Babylon encourage um you know women to, be mothers without, well, when I say mothers without marriage, just like really, I would understand sex is marriage. We're gonna go over that, but as far as just different men, you know what I mean? Five men, five children, five different baby fathers, and going on to the sixth one, that's encouraged. And the men, male rappers, they're constantly talking about I'll take you, what's Trey Songz, Mr. I'll take your girl, Usher, I heard your boyfriend's looking for me. Those are R&B, the rappers, like your girl's in the club with me, y'all send it back when I'm done, you know what I mean? This is something that obviously Esau pushes, right? Not saying Jake is totally you know, with his clean hands, but if Esau didn't want it out, it wouldn't be out. These aren't independent artists. They have distribution, they have producers, they have people, A&Rs, they have people that are above them that say this is what the people want. The people need to see that you can get any woman you want, or or this is what the people want. We need you to be your sex symbol. Everybody needs to want you, and you can have anybody you want. So push that. And always bring up the fact that Styles P had a song called "I'm Black," right? This was back in the, I don't see back in the day, meaning like '08 or something like that. It was years ago, and it never and at the time I was listening to the radio, you know what I mean, and I was excited. I'm like, man, they're gonna be listening to this song, and even though it's like I'm not an Israelite or anything like that, it was kind of like I'm proud to be black, almost like James Brown. You know what I mean? I'm proud of who I am. And I know you say, hey, that's a color, and that's a byword and proverb, calling yourself a color. But levels of I'm disgusted with who I am. I can't stand this skin. I want to bleach my skin. To I'm actually proud to to look the way I do. So there's levels. You know what I'm saying? So and yeah, and it never got any traction up here. And I'm like Power 99 in Philadelphia, right? It's like the local station that's talking about how we peace on the streets. We gotta stop killing each other. This is terrible. What's going on in the city? Da da da. But they play the music that's the soundtrack to that. So when a song that came out with "I'm black," either I'm poor, rich or poor, it's all the same. Like they didn't play it at all, and I noticed that. And so Esau knows what he wants on the radio station. He knows what he wants to promote. He knows what streams are going to get at the top of the algorithms now. You know what I mean? So, let's be aware that this is part of the warfare, you know what I'm saying, of breaking up the family unit. All right, let's bring that out. Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 22.
Come on, this is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22, verse 22. If a man be found lying with a woman married to an husband, Salaki, then they both of them die. Salaki, then they shall both of them die. Both the man that lay with the woman and the woman. So shalt thou put evil, Salaki, so shalt thou put away evil from Israel.
John. So, that's adultery. You know what I'm saying? Um, And as the law states, you're supposed to be put to death. Now in America, so much the opposite is you're given life, you're given millions of dollars, and you're given status and fame, and look at unsexy red, you know what I mean, and Drake or whoever, you know what I'm saying, that talks about um adulterous things, adulterous themes. you're put on a pedestal, but in law, you're supposed to be put to death. Okay. So people that do that, they lack understanding because obviously, like the scriptures say, sneaking around during the day, looking in, scooping out the houses, you know what I mean? That sneaky side of adultery, Slakia, is a death sentence because you're not really sneaking. You know what I'm saying? We understood the intricacies, to our mortal mind can comprehend of what this is and the oversight, the tremendous oversight of your the hair, the very hairs of your head are numbered. So that tremendous oversight, ain't nobody missing nothing, you know? You might think you're getting away with something, but you're really not. So what prompted me, to look into this was late night, running, moving and shaking throughout the day, and then about to get something to eat. It was late. So I was like, let me put something on, to watch while I'm about to have some food. On Netflix, it's a three-part series, right, called Ashley Madison. And I'm not too familiar with Ashley Madison. I remember hearing about it. A data breach happened regarding that. So everybody that was on that website, their information came out on online. So, I'm like, let me check this out. And it was so much. These are adulterous men and women that go to this site. Uh, everybody that's on there is allegedly supposed to be married. So it's just strictly, you know, um, getting together, doing what they do and leaving. You know what I mean? So that's what this website was about. I'm like, let me do a lesson on this because uh they had like 37 million followers or 37 million, subscribers or whatever at the time of the data breach. And they say now, even though after that happened, they said they have 70 million. So it really didn't go anywhere. It actually almost doubled. So adultery is something that is prevalent in our society, and I don't see it necessarily getting any better, until the Most High starts really knocking people off and, nuclear missiles show up because it seems to be getting worse. Okay. Let's go to Exodus chapter 20 and verse 14. And it's a very interesting series. You should check it out. One family on there is a Christian family, right? It's Esau, Christian family, Christian values. Main male's all over the place. He's going to clubs and massage parlors, and he's all over the place. You know what I mean? That's the Christian value. Kind of like God will forgive me. You know what I mean? But I mean it's Esau, but you know what I mean? Like Jake be on that same type time. That's lacking understanding. Things that is a death sentence. It's the sneakiness behind it all. Okay. Let's go to Exodus chapter 20, verse 14, Baba Bashar.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 20 and 14. And all I have to say,
Uh,
Con. Verse 14. Thou shalt not commit adultery.
yeah, it's pretty much simple. You know what I mean? It's simple and straight. And Deuteronomy tell you why, because you're gonna die. It says the wages of the sin is death. You know what I mean? It's pretty straightforward. Um, that you're not supposed to do that. Okay. Let's go to Hebrews chapter 13 and verse 4. All right, we are pretty much seated here. You know what I'm saying? This is amazing. When you really sit back and ponder what this world is all about, you know what I mean? Of course, we'll fear God and keep the commandments, right? Um, the mathematical precision of how the sun is a certain distance away from the earth and the moon is a certain distance away from the sun. So when they get together and line up, an eclipse can happen. You never see the other side of the moon, you know what I mean? The wind, what is that about? You know what I'm saying? You know, the clouds, and it's just a, you know, the oceans going into the clouds and come back down with rain. And so I say that to say, you know, the Most High doesn't make mistakes. He has this thing locked down. You know what I mean? As far as the building process, the architect, you know what I mean? And Yahweh shot building everything to the point where he puts people together, right? You know what I mean? It's you never know how you know who, you know, Slakia, you know, when you talk to people about how they got together, how they met, you know, so I'm like, oh, just happen to be walking down the street. There's no chances of that. You know what I'm saying? There's no chances of coincidences happening in certain situations. You know, you might have met your future mate, your future husband, future wife, years before you guys actually got together. You know what I mean? It's just the way the Most High intended it. So when you go outside of that uh marriage, outside of that union, to, you know, some some woman walking the streets, you know what I'm saying, trying to get a couple bucks, or a stripper that's on a pole or something like that, that's been with hundreds of men or whatever like that, like, it's really disrespect to your creator, you know? And, you know, some people really push that in Israel. Like, hey, man, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, a guy is burning in his lust. He could just go a couple dollars, $40, this, that, and the third. And that's spirits, man. You putting spirits on you. You know what I mean? It's just you're not sleeping together for, you know, to have children, or, you know what I mean? You're really just thinking about yourself. It's a selfish thing to do, you know? And we gotta think about the bigger picture, you know. Most High is building armies, you know, we're army, like it says in Exodus, you know, leaving out um Egypt, you know, it was an army, you know. So, you know, we can't just like spit in the face of the Most High God and think we're going to get away with that. That's the lack of understanding, you know. Deuteronomy 22 and 22, you're going to die, you know, just because uh you know, just because you don't die right away, like it says in, you know, Ecclesiastes 8 and 11, thinking you're good. Ah, man, that's something we gotta, you know, definitely gotta repent from, you know, the those urges that come in, you know, you can't act on them. You know what I mean? You can't act on them. Okay. Gotta have self-control. All right, let's bring that out. Hebrews 13 and 4.
Come on, this is the book of Hebrews, chapter 13, beginning at verse 4. Marriage is honorable in all, and the bed undefiled. But whoremongers and adulterers, God will judge. Yahweh will judge.
All right, so marriage is honorable. Okay. And we don't want the judgment of the Most High. You know what I mean? That's not uh you might not make it through, you know, like I said, Deuteronomy, you know, it's a death sentence, right? Um, but let's go to Genesis 24 and 67, right? Marriage is honorable. Now, does that mean you gotta sit in front of some Edomite, you know what I mean? That went to some cemetery school, they say, and you know, now, oh, now you're allowed to get married, just like so-called Mother's Day come up. Oh, now you're allowed to celebrate your mother, or, you know, give her gifts and stuff. And Father's Day's coming up. Now you're allowed to do this. Like, no, you know, we have our own set of laws, statutes, commandments. You know, we abide by the rules of uh the society, you know what I'm saying? Meaning, you know, You can't walk up to somebody and punch them in the face. You know what I mean? You can't just walk into a, a store and steal from, the store or whatever. But that's also our law. You can't do these things. You know what I'm saying? But you know, going to Esau, like, oh, now you're allowed to be married. You know what I'm saying? Our marriage is laying with our wife, right? So let's bring that out. Genesis 24 and 67.
Salaki.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that always been crazy to me that you got to go get permission to marry someone.
Say that again.
I said it always been crazy to me that you have to get permission to marry someone.
Con. And from the oppressor, you know.
Exactly.
Con. And Salaki, when you go into the history um of like the arranged marriages, of our people in America, it's like, okay, you're the most fertile slave, you're the strongest
Uh-huh.
slave, you know what I'm saying? So guess what? You guys are husband and wife now, you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't always a choice, you know what I'm saying? Because we're under captivity, you know. We're looking at that in the slave narratives we're watching, you know what I'm saying? I married such and such, and you know what I mean? But when we got free, had the opportunity to marry somebody freely or whatever like that. um it when we were able to do that without having oversight of Esau, it was still the ball's already moving. You know what I'm saying? So, oh, I got to go to Esau to marry. And that's what they were talking about slave narratives. Like, we got married by John Mitchell, the pastor of this church or whatever, like their church. So get married by the Edomites. They still had control over our bodies for the most part. All right. And our mind. It wasn't necessarily, it was our bodies still, it was Jim Crow and all that. But mentally, this is how it's supposed to go. You can't, what do you mean you get married by that Negro preacher? You know what I'm saying? It wasn't, you had to go to Esau, for the ceremony rather. All right. So let's bring that out. Genesis 24 and 67.
Come on, this is the book of Genesis, chapter 24, beginning at verse 67. And Isaac brought her into his mother Sarah's tent and took Rebekah, and she became his wife. And he loved her. And Isaac was comforted after his mother's death.
Huh. So it's not like he went in there and then Esau came out with the good book, read two scriptures, and you had to sign a marriage certificate and send it away to the state, and you know what I'm saying? That's not what happened. That's not our culture. Let's go to 2 Samuel 11 and verse 27. And we got to get out of Babylonian culture. We know better. We should know better, right? Um, depending on Esau for everything. We got to go back into our past, remember the days of old. Isn't it Memorial Day weekend? Celebrating the memorial of what? Let's remember what our ancestors, um, you know, uh, uh, the messages our ancestors got from the Most High, it's Bible written, the finger of God, for instruction, how to live. Okay. Let's remember that. All right, let's bring that out. 2 Samuel 11, verse 27.
Come on. This is the book of 2 Samuel, chapter 11, verse 27. And when the morning was past, David sent and fetched her to his house, and she became his wife and bare him a son. But the thing that David had done displeased Yahweh.
Now, was it displeasing to the Most High because he didn't go to Esau and get a marriage certificate? No, David was drawn. He saw a woman, wanted her, got her husband killed, and then now he's like, oh, she's free. You know what I mean? You know the law. She's free. Now I can she's gonna be my wife. And that's what he did. But it says, fetched her to his house. She became his wife. Why? Because they laid down together and bared him a son. Okay. Let's go to Deuteronomy 23 and verse 17. Okay. So marriage is honorable. Okay. And we understand sex is marriage. It's honorable. Not with unsexy red. I'm just using her because she is very she's put out there, you know what I mean? Gilly and Wallow like put her, they interviewing her and stuff like that, and it's crazy. Philadelphia, these so-called activists, what are they activating? What are they what are you advocating for? You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's what the people want to see. No, that's what your handlers want people to see, and you guys fall hook, line, and sinker, or you just don't care. You get money driving Lamborghinis and so forth and so on. But that's why I bring her up a lot because um, you got teachers singing her songs to the students. It's a really you know the culture is really sinking with this woman, and but marriage is honorable. Okay. Um, but whoremongers, right? It's a whoremonger. What's a male prostitute? You know what I'm saying? This guy's a prostitute. He's going all over the place. What's going on, sister? How you doing? Da, 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 going on, sister? With no intentions of making her wife. Because you get new people that come here. I would say new because that's what I've seen more often. Like somebody's been here 10 years in the truth because you've probably been stung so many times by the hornets. It would be really you'd be a fool to keep going in that direction. Not saying it doesn't exist, but I see with new people, new men, they're like, yo, I get to have more than one wife. What's going on, sis? What's going on, sis? And you all over the place trying to really just fulfill his lustly urges. You know what I'm saying? Um, that's a whoremonger. Okay. And it says, and adulterers, God will judge. And that's, you get the Most High's attention in that aspect, not of doing great works, but of being a whoremonger and adulterer. That judgment is not going to be what you want. It ain't what you want. You know what I mean? All right, let's bring that out. Deuteronomy 23, verse 17.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 23, verse 17. There shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel, nor a sodomite of the sons of Israel.
So, being a whoremonger, you're making the daughters of Israel a whore because we have no intention of being with her. And, purity was something that was important back then. Now, not so much. It's like you go on your prom, that's the time then you're supposed to sleep with somebody. You know what I mean? That's that's American culture. You know what I'm saying? Don't, you might know her for 5 minutes, but hey, you're on the prom together. Let's go to this hotel, and from there, going out into the world, you're already fouled, so to speak, because you're not with the man that's supposed to be your husband, but he goes off to this school, you go off to that school, or, either way you go off to work and she goes off to work and you all break up, da, da, da. That's not how it's supposed to be. Back in our day, when I say back in our day, right? Like I was there. We're all there somehow, right? At one point in time through regeneration, right? Back in the ancient times, you slept with a woman, the token of her virginity was the sheet, put it up. It shows that she broke her hymen and show everybody, you know what I mean? If they do that now, still it's done in cultures, it's not this one, right? And if a man's like she's not a virgin, then you have to get the sheet and prove. You know what I mean? The family's like, hold up, no, 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 look, we got the sheet. You know what I mean? But now it's just, you know, um promiscuous. It's like modern day Sodom and Gomorrah. So being promiscuous is a good thing in America, right? In modern day Sodom and Gomorrah. So that's why the Most High said, look, whoremongers and adulterers, he will judge, because you're not supposed to make a whore out of daughters of Israel. You have to have intentions of making her your wife, you know? Meet the family, ain't going to the club and just bringing her home, see what, this is this union's about to be, you know, blessed under the Most High God, not in the back seat of a Monte Carlo, park that um, make out mountain. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's go to Judges chapter 8 and verse 30. So adultery is very sneaky. It's a sneaky act. It's, oh, I'm about to go out, hang out with Tony and them, right? You're not hanging out with Tony and them. You're going to your side piece's house. You know what I'm saying? You're hanging out with her. And you come back, oh, how was Tony? Oh, Tony's good. Tony say, yeah, you're being adulterous, you're lying. It's like you constantly digging a hole, a pit, and you're figuring out ways to manipulate, figuring out ways to get over. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm working late today. It's just it's lies. It's a business trip I'm going on. You know what I mean? She's like, business trip? You work at Burger King. What business trip are you going on? Like, oh, they're gonna learn, we're gonna learn how to. It's a new burger that's coming out, so we're gonna learn how to do that with this and this and the third. I'm like, hold on, how you work at Walmart? You going to a business trip? We don't. Oh, they got this waiters, the new cashiers, the system. We're gonna learn more about the system, so we're going away for a week in Aruba. Just constant lies and sneakiness. You know what I'm saying? It's not necessary. Why? Because the scriptures say we can have more than one wife. So you know, an adultery can be cut in half if you had the understanding of who you are and where your ancestors came from. Remember the days of old. Let's get Judges 8 and verse 30.
Con, this is the book of Judges, chapter 8, beginning at verse 30. And Gideon had 70 sons of his body begotten, for he had many wives. And his concubine that was in Shechem, she also bare him a son, whose name he called Amalek.
Huh. Huh. So that's good. Slack, yeah. Um, so um Gideon had, he had many wives. Okay. Gideon wasn't a bad guy. You know what I'm saying? You know, um, what our sisters try to do is, well, think about one man that was good that had more than one wives. God wasn't with that. Says who? Where are you getting this from? Who learned you? You know what I'm saying? That's not true. Okay. Um, and he had a concubine, you know. Um, so we have to get past the Babylonian mind state. The reason why Babylon doesn't believe in polygamy, they believe in, being a monogamous relationship, is because Babylon, just like the Roman Empire, they're homosexuals. You know what I'm saying? And when and now you can see the effect of homosexuality. Now that America is pushing this agenda, you got to say, if it's they, them, you got to call them that, or you're going to HR, or now Biden passed a law saying you have to, it's like disorderly conduct. It's against the law. You know what I mean? At this point, to discriminate, it's discrimination. If a guy says, no, I'm a girl, I'm a girl, you have to say, okay, ma'am. You know what I mean? If you don't, like, oh, this person's discriminating against me, violating my civil rights, and you can get in trouble under the law, right? And they've been pushing this for a while. Look at the numbers of America decreasing. You know what I'm saying? Esau is decreasing in America. And that same thing with Rome, you know, but in order to keep up an empire, you need people to keep building. You know, you have an army, you're building up an army, right? So that's why they're saying you can't, you have to have at least one wife. You have to, because you have to have children and keep this thing going. As you see now, you know, with this whole LGBTQTXYZ agenda, it's the numbers are decreasing instead of increasing. The Most High says, look, I need you to replenish this earth, have children. Okay. A woman can only have how many children a year? You know, a man, his sperm is 150, you know what I mean? A million or whatever, right? And he can impregnate a woman each day for a while. I mean, I mean, for a while, like that's, you know, that's what he can do. That's how men are made. So our women have to get out of that mind state of, I don't believe in polygamy, because what is there not to believe in? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's in the scriptures. All right, let's go to Exodus 21:10. And I know a lot of women don't like to hear that, because you still have a Babylonian mind state. You got to get rid of that. You know what I'm saying? Because not only say I don't believe in polygamy, which is, to me, you don't understand the scriptures. It's really um we what you're really saying is, okay, you know, I don't want my man to be with another woman, right? I'm emotionally attached to him. I don't want him to love her more than she loves me. And that's the jealousy coming in, right? It's more jealousy than anything. But um, you know, in this nation building, you know, I see women trying to convince other women that it's not a good idea to, like, look at me, it's terrible. I don't do this. It's a manipulation type thing, right? Because it's like I'm just giving my opinion, but is it really necessary if it's going against the scriptures of our ancestors that had more than one wife? You know, your opinion seems to be a manipulation tactic to have other women think like you. It's blatantly obvious to me. And I'm pretty sure it's obvious to the Most High. You know what I'm saying? So I would definitely check that. If that's the leg you want to stand on in these last days, I would recommend that you do a little bit more research, that you examine yourself, you know, because we're building armies. Don't tell anybody. You know what I'm saying? Of course, we put this on the internet. We're building the Most High's armies, you know. Don't get in the way of that, you know. Don't, you know, woe to them who call good evil and evil good. Like, I think this polygamy is terrible. That could be destructive, you know, trying to convince other women to believe what you believe in. And you always all sitting in the side of the corner, like, yeah, we all believe polygamy is bad. But what does the Most High have to say about that? Do you want to stand on that? It's entirely up to you. I recommend that you don't. but I'll definitely recommend you do more research. Let's go to Exodus chapter 21 and verse 10.
Come on, this is the book of Exodus, chapter 21, verse 10. If he take him another wife, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage, shall he not diminish?
So guess what? That's part of the law. It says if he take him another wife, right? So, you know, you gotta provide her food, you gotta provide her clothes, and the duty of marriage, uh, housing and laying down. You know what I'm saying? Laying down with her shall not diminish. Okay, so the it didn't say once we get in Babylon, then this law is done away with. No, this is the law. Okay, so um, think before you speak. You know what I'm saying? And this is, through social medias and all that. That's your message to the world. You know, pretty sure how about Shem Shah has access to your social medias, like he has access to your mind and everything. Okay, so you know, be smart in these last days. Okay, if you ain't got nothing good to say, then don't say nothing at all. All right. Let's go to Jeremiah 1, verse 10. Because what are we doing here? We got to ask ourselves, we're servants of the Most High God, right? Servants of God. What are we doing? All right. We learn who we are. We learn the law. We learn these scriptures. We teach others, right? Let's see what the Lord said to Jeremiah. And you can bring that out. Jeremiah 1, verse 10.
Come on. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 1, beginning of verse 10. See, I have this day set thee over the nations and over the kingdoms to root out and to pull down and to destroy and to throw down, to build and to plant.
So there's different avenues, right? So when we're out there preaching the word, we're building up, throwing down, you know what I mean? Somebody don't want to get it, you know, it's not all the same thing, right? But we're building, we're in the process of nation building, coming still in slavery, but mentally freeing ourselves from this captivity, right? So with that, we are in a building process. We're building an army, having children and raising up our children through the law, statutes, and commandments, through the scriptures. What we should be doing, what we shouldn't be doing, right? And then they'll raise up their children and their children. You see what I'm saying? It's a constant building process. All right. Um, you don't want to get in the way of that. This is the Lord's will. This is his work, right? Now, like I said, that's why I started off course with this is called adultery. Because in adultery, you're sneaky with it. You know what I'm saying? That's not building. You're just uh um lusting. All right. But you have to find out there's a difference between adultery and multiple wives. Everybody that has multiple wives isn't in lust. Okay. Gideon wasn't lusting. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't say Most High was pleased with Gideon. All right. So, you know the difference in what you're saying. Okay, let's go to Proverbs 31. Because everybody says they're Proverbs 31 woman. Or, you know, maybe they're not. Maybe they are. Maybe I'm wrong with that. But that should be the aim for our sisters to be a Proverbs 31 woman. It's like every aim for men should be part of the 144,000. You're like, maybe you are, maybe you aren't, but that should be the aim, aim there. If you don't get there, then, at least you in the mist. You know what I'm saying? Ah, man, I'm not Proverbs 31. I was almost there. I'm not 144. I was right at the edge. But, you know, um, make your election sure, just go hard, go hard for Yahweh Shem Shai. You can't go hard enough. You know what I'm saying? So, to be a Proverbs 31 is something you just gotta read. Uh Said, a woman like that caliber is like a ruby. I never even seen a ruby. I keep talking about this. I've yet to find a ruby on the ground. You know what I'm saying? So it's very rare, you know. But that doesn't mean it can't be you, you know. Um just and know your audience. Know who you're listening to. Because a lot of sisters listen to another sister thinking she's extremely righteous, and she's not. You know what I'm saying? And she'll wear her fringes every day. She'll wear her head wrap every day. But what's in her heart isn't in accordance with Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. What's in her mind isn't in accordance with Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. So, coming in the truth, you might be new. Um, Let me listen to this sister. This sister been the truth for this many years. And a lot of women, they like almost like I got my husband in check. Yeah, my husband don't need another woman. Now, not I'm all he needs, and this, that, and the third. That type of energy is worldly. That's a worldly vibration you putting out there. Because I can hear the same thing from the women that live on my block. You know what I'm saying? The women that you know, that I know in the world. I got my husband on me, then my husband, Like, sis, relax. You know, relax. You don't get your husband in check. That don't make no sense. You're supposed to be a helpmate to your husband, not keeping him in check. And he might not want another wife, but he might not want another wife because for other reasons that you don't know. You know, he said one of his reasons might be you're such a pain in his neck that he don't want another woman. He said, man, I got to deal with you. What I need two for? And how is that going to look on Judgment Day? How is that going to look when you stand in front of Yahweh Shem Yahushua? You know, ask yourself. Mentioned this before. If Yahweh goes to your husband and says, how has she been? Because obviously, there's an order to this, right? He's going to judge. But just say for instance, he asked your husband. That mentally, this could help you move accordingly. If he asks your husband, how has she been as a wife? And you give him a look like, you better say that I've been a good wife. And he's like, man, it's been rough. You know what I'm saying? To say the least, I've been walking on eggshells around this woman just because off the strength of her attitude and her negativity, you don't want to piss her off. Slock it. You don't want to set her off. You know what I mean? And that's no way to be around somebody. Like, men, don't be a lion in your own home. And women, don't be a tyrant because you can. You like, hey, he can't put me away. The only way he can put me away is fornication. You know? And you look at Sirach 25th chapter, it talks about giving her a bill of divorce. You know what I mean? If you're not following anything the man says, why are you married to him? Because people get finagle that. Like, you know, yeah, she wasn't fornicating with another man, but she's not in the truth. She's hardly in the truth. So, this marriage is null and void, you know. But you understand that that scripture that you're going to put a woman away through fornication So you take advantage of that. That's not a good idea, you know, because you have power, right? If you take advantage of that power, you're gonna have to talk to the ultimate power, and that ain't good, you know. So let's bring that out. Proverbs chapter 31 and verse 26.
This is the book of Proverbs 31, chapter 31, verse 26. She openeth her mouth with wisdom, and in her tongue is the law of kindness.
Huh. So keep wisdom, keep knowledge, keep understanding, keep wisdom. Proverbs 31 says she opened up her mouth for wisdom, you know. And you go down there, she, you know, she look at well into her household. Don't let what you learn. That's why we have to be newborn babes in this. Don't let what you learned in the world affect your walk in this truth. All right. And don't let um women who really don't, they might know a million scriptures, but lack understanding. Don't let them convince you to go in their ways. All right, their worldly ways. My husband don't need no woman. I got everything he need right here. Da, 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 da. Come on, stop it. All right. And that's why I was thinking about this with Ashley Madison. It said the reason why that company thrives is because the men love their woman, their wife, but they just want another woman. You know, now I'm not saying it's the same thing, right? Please don't mistake my words, right? Because those men, they're not in relationships. They're just um pretty much having sex with other women, right? But the reason why that company got started because he saw that during dating apps, 30% of the men on the dating apps were married. Okay. So really to avoid adulterers. Now adulterers, um, for the most part, right? I ain't gonna say for the most part, but it's not cut and dry, left or right or whatever like that. Some are just, I love sneaky. I love being sneaky. Um, you got Winona Ryder. She's a millionaire. She loves stealing. Like she stole from Walmart or wherever and got caught. Like she stole like $15 worth of stuff, but she has $1 million in the bank account. It's not because she needed something. She just wanted that thrill. So some people that have that thrill, they want that, they seek for that thrill. But um in other situations, you know, a man wants another woman, you know, that doesn't take away the love in certain and I'll say in our, you know, in Israelite, in our instances, it doesn't take away the love. Because a man can love his first wife and love his second wife and his third wife. We are different in that aspect. Okay. As far as the emotions go. Okay. So just know we want to say men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Like we're different, you know. Well, he ain't gonna love me no more. It's not true. It's not true. You know, he loved you to start the relationship, and if you're keeping up your end of the bargain, right? You know, just get lazy and just, you know, oh, I used to do his laundry. I used to clean the bathrooms. I used to work out. I used to keep my you know, myself together. I used to do this, but I ain't doing no more. I'm married. I got him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, keep yourself going in that direction. You know, keep that love alive. Okay. So that is pretty much the lesson. Okay. And I wanted to finish with this video. Okay. I didn't watch it. Now it was one video the sister broke it down. It might have been Ham. I'm sure, probably Ham. I'm guessing, but she was breaking it down how a man is made for polygamy. You know what I'm saying? Our bodies are made in that design, you know. But I couldn't find it. But now I do see the sister, what's her name? Ali. So I want to see what she has to say because I haven't seen it, but you know, she has interesting takes on things, you know what I'm saying? And let's watch it together. Okay. So it's me watching it for the first time as well. I don't know if she's pro polygamy or not, but um she ain't no dummy. So let's see what she has to say.
You say in your book, there is no history of the black man settling down with one woman,
Right,
and never desiring to have another, before
Right.
slavery, during slavery, or after slavery.
That's
The black
the
man
truth.
has never been recorded to have just one woman.
right. Well, I think there's some actual facts we can look at on that. Monogamy has failed for the white man in America.
But this is like saying it's okay.
It's not me saying it's okay. This is how they're living. I'm giving you the history of what their life is. Black men haven't been waiting on me to tell them it's all right to have more than one woman. Neither have white men. You know, this is just what they do. I'm not talking about fornication and adultery. I'm not talking about one night stands and running around rampant with other women. That's not the kinds of when I say more than one woman relationship. I mean that before we came to America, our men had more than one wife and family. And we were satisfied with it because we had not met the monogamy idea. We had not met the American white woman who, you know, insists on certain kinds of values in her man. We had not learned envy and jealousy. All right. After coming here, those kinds of ideas were bred into us because of society and the mores that the Americans made up here. And so then we started to have problems with that. But I think that since it is apparent that most of them, not all of them, it's certainly up to the man, do love more than one woman. Many, I got tons of mail. A lot of black men write and tell me that they have had two women for 5, 10, 15, and 20 years, and they can't even get the women to speak to each other. Sometimes they have two families.
Would I want to talk to a woman who's sharing perhaps the bed and the money and the social life with who I would deem as my man?
If you want to deal in reality, and if you are not insecure, and if you don't think that that robs you of something, you would want to know them. If he loves her, you certainly should want to know her.
There are a lot of black women out there who say,
"Oh, I know he's mad about that idea." You know,
that would not hold water.
Wait a minute, that's not easy, and that's a frightening thought to most of us. And I don't like that. I'm not for that. I'm in agreement with everybody else. Our men ought to just have one woman. But that is not the reality. I'm trying to get us to deal with some reality for a change. Stop dealing with fantasy. Stop dealing with television. Stop dealing with imagination of how we wish things were. Let's deal with them how they are, what it is, present tense. And
But
if we
because
deal with
that's
that,
happening doesn't mean I have to like that or
no,
want
that
to
means that
accept
you can live in hell. That means you can live in doubt. That means that you can always be checking on your man. That means that you can be insecure and be, you know, tearful. And that means you can be disappointed when you find out the real truth. And you don't want to have that in your life. None of us do. But in order not to have that, then we have to deal with some reality and recognize that men are not limited in the way that women are. Men are able to love more than one woman. I'm not talking about, as I said, just a random sexual relationship or fornication and adultery and all of that. I mean that there are many black men who have children by more than one woman. What is to become of those children? They need their father.
But if you would cheat on me or walk out on me.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. We have to get into definition. Who told us that was cheating? Where did that idea come from that that's cheating? And I'm not saying that a lot of men are not just running around. I'm not talking about that. But if a woman finds out that her man has been with a woman while she's been with him for 3 or 4 or 5 years, that's a serious commitment and relationship. And if it hasn't taken anything from me, if I'm not going short of anything, and if this is what he thinks his responsibility is, then what kind of hell are you going to go through to prevent that? Since we cannot stop him, we have not been successful. The white woman has not been successful in stopping the white man from having another woman. They called them a mistress. We pick up a lot of that terminology. But a man who has two women, that's not necessarily a mistress. That's just his other woman. Now we got two choices. We can be the woman or the other woman. You know, we don't have those two. Now I know we don't like that. I don't like that. You know, but that's the reality of our life at some point. Now it's up to the man. But what man doesn't want two women? But those that do,
what about
they
our
gotta do it.
morals and our religion?
Whose religion? Whose morals? Not our religion, because we're not practicing the religion of Black people anymore. That was taken from us. We don't have our morals anymore. That was taken from us. So whose idea are you representing when you stand up for those values? Not ours. Somebody else's, some other nationality. And it may work for them, but it doesn't work for us. It hasn't worked for anybody, really, but nobody wants to deal with the truth. Monogamy was only created because of the economics of it.
And I'm going to leave that there. Where's the lie? You see what I'm saying? Where's the lie? And that's another thing. Reality. We have to get out of this fantasy life, you know what I'm saying? And deal in reality. If we say we are Israelites, which we are, and we read the scriptures, which we should be doing, blessed is those that read. You know, when it says, if a man take him another wife, that's through the scriptures. Okay. So that's in the law. All right. So one thing we got to get, you know what I mean? That don't be a female lioness of, what'd you say? We looking at her? You look at another woman walks by, you know what I'm saying? And you can't be lusting after a woman like, damn, look at that. You know what I mean? But your woman's walking by and she just staring at you, see if you about to look at her, you know what I mean? That, you know, you're really not stopping anything. You know what I'm saying? And it's not cute. You know what I mean? And that in turn can push a man to adultery. You know, he's like, I'm not going to tell her. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do what I want on the side. I'm not going to tell her. You know, and now he's sneaking around and doing all that. You know, be a loving wife. You know, listen to your husband. Talk to your husband. You know, and maybe we can bypass some of these sins. You know, and like I'm saying, like what she was saying, not the man that's going all around doing this, that, and the third. Not talking about that. Okay, not talking about that. We're in a process of nation building. Okay, don't get in the way of building a nation. You know what I'm saying? Your husband is going to, he makes it into the kingdom after all these people get killed. You know what I'm saying? Most I said replenish. Okay. Oh, in that time, that's fine. Because now your Hawashai's telling them to do it. Didn't say not to do it here, you know. Didn't say once you get to Babylon, you can't do that no more. All right. So get understanding. All right. I hope this was enlightening. Hopefully, we can be more open and honest and teach others to you know, the young sisters coming in, you know what I mean? We can, you know, not put in our thoughts and everything. It's thus save the Holy Bible, thus save the Lord. But I hope you got something from this. I would like to say, Shalom.